Here comes a car. Pretend like you're not doing anything. There goes the car. I don't think they're suspicious at all of a guy holding a stick on the side of the road.
Join Steve and I as we go out and capture images of the Ozarks and sometimes teach you a little about photography.
Hey there everybody, this is Steve and Mike's not here. I'm only half of the Mo Ozark Photos guys. Mike is on assignment as long as you call an assignment to Florida to see family. If you call that an assignment, that's where he's at. But today is like the second full day of autumn on the calendar. And here in Missouri, things are just kind of getting started. And so I thought I'd go out and scout some positions. There are a couple of places I thought, oh, it might be fun to go to just to see what's going on. It's been raining for a couple of days, and so the roads are wet, and I think pictures sometimes look good when you have wet roads, and so I'm there. And so I thought I'd stop by a couple places. The first one here is Devil's Elbow, and it's a very scenic place. However, I don't think the leaves have quite changed enough, but still, we'll practice taking photos, because one thing's for sure, you can't get any good photos if you're just at home playing on the computer, sitting on the couch. So I thought it'd be fun to get out and take a few and see if I can edit a video all by myself. But anyway, if the rain picks up, I have my slicker in the car. I like seeing that. And I also have my map in case I decide to get on some roads that I'm not familiar with, and we'll see what we can come up with. Here comes a car. Pretend like you're not doing anything. There goes the car. I don't think they're suspicious at all of a guy holding a stick on the side of the road. Where I am right now is on the Devil's Elbow Bridge that spans over the Big Piney. And this is an absolutely gorgeous spot. In just a few minutes I'm going to ditch my video camera here and start taking some actual pictures. But not quite fall down here yet. Kind of wish it was, but it's not. But it's still pretty. I mean, look at all the mist and the bluffs. These bluffs are absolutely gorgeous. And just so you're aware, the town gets its name because off on the horizon, just a little bit to the right, well, there's two things over there. One, a big bend in the river, and two, a rock. Because what you got to do is you got to picture that there's a bunch of logs coming down this stream on raft logs. And there's guys on top of those logs, and they're the ones who are steering them down the stream. From what I understand, they would have one up front, one in the middle, and one in the back, and they would yell to each other as they're going around turns and whatnot. And these log things, they would hit a rock at this bend, and that would kind of break apart the, I don't want to call it a train, but it would break it apart, the boat, the float, that would go on for like 100 yards and really cause a mess. And so that's the name Devil's Elbow. But still, this is just an absolutely gorgeous place. You can see the birds flying through the photos there. So I think it's time to ditch the camera and try taking a few photos around here, because it's gorgeous. Even though it's kind of a dreary day and the leaves really aren't changing that much, I still thought it'd be a good idea to come down here to the actual river. This is the Big Piney River that flows through Devil's Elbow, plus a lot of other places, and take a picture from down here, because I really do like the mist that's hanging over the bluffs. Now, what I know is that I have put my canoe in here before, and my kayak, and on a sunny day the sun likes to light up these bluffs right over here across the stream. And so later on in the fall, when the trees are, just 2-3 weeks from now, when the trees are really changing, it might be worth it coming here in the morning to get the sun bouncing off those bluffs over there and lighting up the river. So that might be worth coming back to. But what I have going on right now, of course I have my camera right here, and what's nice is that I have this little flip screen in the back. My old camera did not have that. And so what kind of big deal does that make? Well, it's going to make it a lot easier for me to keep my camera low to the ground in this shot, because everyone knows what the world looks like from eye level. We've been experiencing it that way our entire lives. And so if a photographer can get a different angle, whether it's really high, which is why I think people really like drone footage, or if you go down really low, I used to tell my students this is like worm view, makes the shots a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to take a few down here, and I might even do a focus stack. Probably my biggest problem with focus stacking is that I always forget there's movement. And so I wind up with weird shadows and weird water things, but there's not too terribly much movement going on. I know there's a current, but I think that type of movement is going to be okay. So the plan is to use this log here to the left, this type of a frame. We got some leading lines, and they'll just go off into the distance. And then it's up to God to play with the mist back over there to see if this is really going to turn out well. So, wish luck. All right, I've shot what I think I can here at Devil's Elbow. High tourist population down here. I met a fellow just a second ago. His grandfather used to be the postmaster down here. I took some pictures of the old post office. It's since closed, just recently closed actually. And he said it's nice and quiet down here. Then I reminded him that there's lots of tourists like me just come tromping by. And just before he spoke to me, there were probably 4 cars right outside his front door taking pictures of what's over my shoulder here, the sign as well as the fire engine, which is kind of weird. Yeah, Missouri Department of Corrections, Moberly. All right, not Moberly, that's near where I went to school up in Kirksville. But anyway, I think we're done here at the elbow. We're going to get on some dirt roads, go underneath some railroad tracks, and we're heading to the back end of Fort Leonard Wood. We are a little bit east of Devil's Elbow, and we are in the Mark Twain National Forest. And I was heading for something else, but notice that this road right here was closed. And so they have a little sign over here explaining why. And it says, you can probably guess, off-road vehicles have been very, very popular. And they've keep using the same spot over and over. And just like if horses do it, or people for that matter, it eventually wears everything out. So the road is closed. But like I said at the top of the video, this is a place where we learn about photography as well as the Ozarks. And so what I will tell you is that I've been here before, but according to the map, if I could tilt down, right here is a place called the Busman Lodge. And Busman, you may think you've never heard of Busman before, but if you live in an old house and you go to your fuse box and you have these little fuses that screw into the box, Busman fuses, hey, this is the family right here. And so they had a lodge on the Big Piney River. I've been to it via the river. A fella took me up there in his jet boat, but I've never hiked there. And so according to this sign right here, we are here. We can take this little trail. I'll have to look up and see how long this thing is. It has a lookout, which might be kind of cool. But anyway, we can hike to the lodge. And that might be a cool thing to do in the winter when the leaves are down, so that we can see things out. Because it's been 30 years since I've been there, and even then it was all overgrown. But anyway, a little bit of history of here in the Ozarks. When I left the house today, this was actually the place I was aiming at. Again, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. We're not too far from Fort Leonard Wood. And Mike and I have been here before. I'm pretty sure we have it on video. And there's this white house over my shoulder here. I believe the date on it is 1870. Obviously, it's been updated with some vinyl siding, metal roof, that sort of thing. But it's a very, I would call it a bucolic setting. I like it down here. We got this little road. We have walnut trees, white fence, and it's because fall hasn't quite happened yet. It's not as colorful as I thought it would be, but it's still pretty, so I'll take some pictures. And then while I was here, I noticed this fence right across the way from me, not the white one behind me, but a cedar fence, I think. Man, it's got lichen all over it, and I think just it's really pretty. So this is what I was aiming at. It's not quite what I thought it would be just yet. I thought there'd be some puddles on the road. There really aren't, even though we've had a ton of rain. I was hoping the trees would be more colorful. They're not. We're still a couple weeks from that. But we're here. We'll shoot. Can't get any good pictures sitting at home, so we'll try to get some here right now. And Mike has done a really good job with this house. I think he has an enlarged photo hanging on his wall of it, so I'll see if I can do the same. Well, I don't think I was able to get as good of pictures as Mike of that white house from 1870, but I did decide to go up the road just a little bit, just a couple hundred yards, and ran into this spring over my right shoulder here. And of course the Ozarks is just loaded with springs. But what makes this particular area special is that this spring feeds into a place called Spring Creek, and that place is special because it's one of only five, that's right, five, that I know of, places in Missouri where trout can support themselves. If you go to like Bennett Springs and Montauk, those are stocked trout. They're put in there every day, except in the winter. But there are a few places in Missouri where the trout were stocked here long ago, but they've managed to maintain themselves. Spring Creek is one, and so is Mill Creek, which is just a few miles from here. And so this is a spot. But what you need to know before you grab your fly rod and come out here and try to fish is that most of this stream, probably 90% of it, is private, which is why I'm not down closer to the spring. I'm on a public road up here, but there's plenty of signs to tell you that, hey, this is a private property down here. So you gotta check that out. All right, this is the obligatory end of the video wrap up, and I hope you learned a few things about the Ozarks. Probably not so much about photography this time, because when I'm working my camera, this camera has to be put away. But anyway, if you like the, I know we didn't have Mike with us to coach us and stuff like that, but if you like the video, please give us a like, subscribe wherever those buttons are. I hope you enjoyed it. It was nice to get out and shoot some video and take some actual still pictures. It's been a little while, and we will do this again shortly. Missouri's not quite ripe enough yet for the change of the fall colors. We're getting close, but we're not there yet. Maybe a couple of nights of cold will do it, but as soon as it starts happening, I mean, Mike and I, we have this giant list. Maybe I'll run the list right here so that you can see where we're hoping to go. And if you think we should go to some other spots, please put them in the little comment section right down there, because we're always looking for places to go. I mean, this spot, this spring I was just at, it's not very far from my home, and I had no idea it was there until I looked at the map and drove an extra 200 yards. So there's a lot of good things around here in the Ozarks. So there's our swag. I hope you liked it. Hope you liked the video. I hope you have a fantastic and blessed day.